Hello everyone, and welcome back to the final episode of the Cold Snap of Power Occultist. I'd hoped to make this video a bit earlier, but sadly it took me some time to make. And the reason for that is, well, the build did not do well as I'd hoped. I wanted to make a nice video to end on that could showcase the power of the build, except, well, the build isn't really all that good at Ubers. Eventually, after trying multiple times to make a decent looking video for the build, I decided, you know what, no, this isn't it. This isn't what I want to show. So I threw out the script and started over, and well, here we are. So, the build did not do that great. My original goal was to take down an Uber, and to try my hand at a few more of them. The one positive thing that I can say is that I in fact did take down one Uber, and twice even. I managed to take down Uber Cortex, which is probably the easiest of the bunch, and it took me 6 portals in both attempts. Part of that is due to personal skill issues, and part of that is due to the build's defensive issues. The other ones that I tried were Ether and Exarch, and that was not very good. The damage was there, although it wasn't anything amazing, but decent enough. However, the lack of tankiness meant that I was dying a lot to very basic mechanics sometimes. And as I said, part of that is that I will need to learn the fights eventually, and part of that is also that the build just straight up couldn't deal with the damage output. Now in a way, I kind of saw this coming, as I originally set out to do this build in a different way than most. I mentioned at the start that I don't really care if the build is strong enough, as long as it's done in a way that I enjoy. I had a goal in mind. I wanted to make my build CI, evasion based, and not using relic ash boots. And I think I got pretty far with that concept. But at this point, I think I'm getting close to the limit that I personally can take with this build. Of course, if anyone else wanted to play this, you could invest in a Mage Blood, you could run Armor and Aegis Aurora, you could run the Relic Ash Boots, things like that. Forbidden Flesh, you could run Adorned, plenty of options that are left to expand into. But that said, as my build currently stands, it cannot really take on Ubers. And that's fine, I think. At this point I'm getting pretty burned out on the league, so I want to stop it here. Mapping on the character is an absolute joy, and probably one of the most fun builds I've ever played for just pure mapping. In tier 16s, the build does really well. It maps nicely, it runs the content that I want to do beautifully, it's just great overall, visually too. But in its current version, it is not a bosser, and well, the amount of portals that it takes to try any of these Ubers clearly shows that. So yeah. That's the update. It's a quick video, sorry for that. I'm glad I managed my original goal at least, to take down at least one Uber, so that way I can feel like I've at least had somewhat of a conclusion to the series, but I don't think it's going to go beyond that, I'm afraid. There are ways to improve the build for sure, as I mentioned before, but those would either take away from the build specifics that I want in the build, or I would need to invest a lot more time and currency into it. And honestly, at this point, I am kind of done with the league. Anyway, that is going to be the update for this build. It is the final build video for the Cold Snap of Power Occultist. Let me know what you thought, and if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching if you've made it this far, and until next time, peace.